a roller coaster, maybe.
Kids are bullies. We hate them.
First,
Wait, what the fuck did you just say?
hey au pairs!
We were asked a question on
Instagram.
How you deal with the language barrier with children. We don't know.
We don't know. This is a good question because it's something that happens often. Often families will hire an au pair thinking, oh, this is the way that my kids will learn English. And they don't have any base of the language, so you don't really have anything that you're working with. Other times it works really well where this family has had au pairs again and again and again. The kids already have a level of English and you're just there to help them keep their English. If you're starting from scratch, it is so hard. And what often happens, I think, is like the au pair just ends up learning French and you come up with some broken French that you use to communicate. Because you're doing the same tasks every day, so eventually once you get into this routine, it becomes a lot easier.
If the child is under like 3, it's pretty easy for them to start learning English and you can work it out together. If they're like 4, 5, 6, maybe, I don't really know how that'll go, maybe they'll learn it, and then like 5 and above, if they don't know much English before you arrive, they're not going to know much English by the time you leave.
Yeah.
So you just have to muddle through with like a myriad of different ways, such as like making up your own kind of language in a way of like you have, you know, words in common that you both know, and maybe you'll speak a bit of both, and you'll use pointing and things, and then you should just learn that language.
Yeah.
Because the host parents will insist usually that you speak to them in English, but it's hard in the day-to-day.
The biggest tip we can give, first, look up certain phrases that will be used pretty much every day. So, you know, you're going to get the kids from school, you can learn how to say, how was school?
Yeah, and check out the video that we've previously done on useful French phrases.
So, I'll give you some now.
I'm so subconscious with French.
Est-ce que tu as faim? Are you hungry? Est-ce que tu as soif? Are you thirsty? C'est l'heure de bain. It's time for bath. L'heure de dîner. Time for dinner. L'heure de ranger. Time to clean up. That's one tip, is just like review those general phrases that you're going to say every day. And you might feel like a broken record saying them every day, but what else can you do, you know? And that's where you start learning, is repetition, going from the basics, and then eventually your vocabulary grows. But it takes a long time, and you shouldn't feel demotivated because of that.
The other tip that I've heard you give frequently is to teach your host kid like one thing and then just run with that for like a week, and then teach them something else once they've really mastered it. Don't try and teach them loads of different words or loads of different phrases. Just start with something like, my favourite colour is, or something more practical than that, because I don't think we should be learning.
My favorite color is.
When you first start learning a language, I think it should probably be something like, I'm hungry.
Don't
What
have
is
your
for
expectations be too high.
Yeah.
Because your kids, if they're starting with nothing, I think my kids at the end of the school year learned, can I have a glass of water? And that was because we said that every day for like 10 months.
I think we sound quite pessimistic about this, but really I think we're trying to be more realistic for au pairs, because I know so many au pairs that went into the situation being like, I'm going to teach my kid English, and came out being like, why is that impossible? It's because you just don't get enough time with them, and it's not intense enough, and you're not around, like they're not learning for enough hours a day or whatever.
Totally.
At the end of the day though,
you learning a language with a kid is the safest environment that you can learn a language in. And even though kids are kind of bullies and they're mean sometimes, at least, you know, it's a kid. So just brush it off your shoulders and get over it.
Please let us know in the comments how you deal with language barriers, because we're often asked about it. But we both dealt with it in different ways, and I kind of didn't really deal with it that much, because my second host kid was pretty fluent, and my first host kids were fluent in English.
My kids didn't know any English, so I just learned French.
Yeah, exactly. But how do you deal with a language barrier?
Depends on what you want to do, and it depends on what the level of language is that your kids are coming in with, and what your parents are expecting. But know that sometimes parents' expectations are a little too high. Well, that's all for now. Please comment below and like us on all of the things, and follow us, and check out our blog.
New beautiful website design.
I just finished designing our website. And our book is